Hey everybody, Denise here, and Anna is right over there. She's been very patient. We've been having some video difficulties, so I have a feeling she may express her displeasure at me being here and not, petting her. So until that time, let's see if we can get this moving. So I've been asked a bunch of questions about classes. So I wanted to, there she goes. I wanted to answer some of them and again go through how you have to RSVP and some of the other details. And hopefully it will be more clear and also that the video actually records. So fingers crossed. So you don't need me anymore. So I am going to turn this off. So the first thing that we want to do is you want to go to the website here, and then you want to go to events, go to the month. Anything in green is my event. Anything in orange is a Stampin' Up, either a special or event or something starting. So I would always look at those because, you never know. They could be something that you're interested in. It's, notices for you or that there's a sale on designer paper. So on a phone, these events would be listed under here and you'd have to scroll. On my laptop it is over here. I don't know how it works on a Mac or an iPad because I don't have experience with those. Yes, banana. So all you do then is you find the one that you're looking for, and it's here, and you want to do the scrapbook thing, you want to know about it, great. You click on it and it will come up and tell you all of the details. If there's a price, how much it is. It will tell you the date of the event, which, okay, Anna, don't do that. It will just rip the chairs. It will tell you the date of the event. Obviously, you've clicked on it. It will give you the RSVP date here. Going, maybe, nope, can't make it. It does allow you to invite a guest if you want to scrapbook or card make or whatever the event is, and you want to bring a friend with you. They have to RSVP on their own. You can't RSVP for two people. You can pay for two people at once, but you can only RSVP for yourself. And I only have a limited amount of space, which is why all of the RSVPs are going through this. It keeps it nice and orderly for me. The only problem comes in where if you say that you're going to this, right? Well, let's pick a different one because this is a free event. So let's pick something else. All right, so let's go back. And it always brings you back to the current month. Hi, Anna. Don't knock over my soda. She's right on the table now. So, Card Club. So Card Club is $15. It tells you there. It gives you where the samples are. You can copy and paste that. So you can see the samples we're making in class that night. You're okay, Anna. You're okay. And it tells you here payment and the RSVP is required by September 14th. Ooh, don't fall on the soda. You don't want to spill that. So if you had clicked going, but you didn't pay by the 14th, you're not going. I know it says you're going, but you're not going. The problem now is if somebody else wanted to go, but I don't have room because 6 people RSVP'd and 2 more people want to come, but only 4 of the 6 paid, only those 4 people are coming. The other 2 are not, you're not considered going to me because you haven't paid. So it's got to be responded by and paid by the deadline. Now you can pay cash if you see me in real life before the deadline, or it's Venmo or PayPal, and you can email me to get more information on what that is if you don't already have that. But this becomes very important. Now it also becomes very important with any of the Saturday classes, because the Saturday classes, you see here, we have 1, 2, 3. So I know typos. Sorry. So if you click yes, if that you are coming to class number 1, and you send me the money for all 3 classes, but you never say, you never RSVP to number 2 or number 3. That's a problem logistically for me. I know you're coming to them, but I can't change your RSVP. You have to do that. So it just creates a burden, really, that I have to go in. I have to change. It is harder for me to change the RSVP than it is for you to simply RSVP. So I am asking, as one of the changes for September, that if you are coming to all 3 card classes, please RSVP for all 3 card classes. Same with anything else that you're coming to. If you decide that you cannot come to a class after you've RSVP'd yes, please go back in and change it to no. That way, that frees that seat because I've put in the system how many chairs I have for the event. And card classes, obviously, we need more space than scrapbooking because scrapbooking just it's more paper, it's bigger paper, so we just need more space. So there are far fewer seats for scrapbooking than for card making, so it becomes very important at that point. All right, so that is that. So, what I'm going to do then is bring this up and hope that this is working. Okay, so there are some changes. Now, one of the things that we always did, I'm going to go down here because this is important too. So, I want to highlight that for a few minutes. One of the things that we did last year, and I've done since I've done the card classes with Bridget and Christina over at LA Craft Stop, is I reevaluate the end of every year. And because I was teaching and not retired like I am now, um, we I reevaluated based on the school year. So we did classes September through June. I took off July and August because who's around for a weekend class anyway? And then over the summer, I reevaluated what worked, what didn't work, just like you do any class and any lesson. And the same is true now. So we spent half of last year, well, some of last year at LI Craft Stop, and we stopped that. We did September, October, November. We skipped December, and then we started January here at my house. So here are a few of the things that I learned. For starters, everybody has to pay in advance because you say you're coming, I cut the kit, you don't come. Yes, I can make the extra cards for myself, but I don't need the extra cards for myself. So now what I've done is I've wasted not only my time, but materials for really nothing. So everybody pays in advance. Your payment is non transferable. Oh, you know what? I can't come, so I'm going to send my friend Betty instead. No, your friend Betty has to pay for your friend Betty. This is non refundable. And I had said that all year, and that was true at LI Craft Stop as well. But people think differently when you're at a house versus in a store, even though sometimes people did this with a store despite it being very clear. So let's be clear about this for all of the classes and events that are paid events. It's got to be paid by the deadline. It has to be paid in full by the deadline. There is no refund unless, of course, I have to cancel the class, in which case I will give you your money back. Or if you choose to put it towards another class, that's okay too. That would be your choice because I had to cancel the class. But it is non-refundable. Please don't come to my house sick. It is non-transferable to somebody else. Okay? And there is no credit for another class because you missed this one. I cut the paper for this one. And I do give you time in between where the RSVP is and when the class is, because that's when I'm cutting the paper. I'm giving myself a week to 2 weeks to cut whatever I need. So if you have canceled after that time, I'm sorry, but I'm already cutting. So that's something that we are going to stick to this year, just like if you RSVP that you're coming, but you don't pay, you don't have a seat. If I see that you've RSVP'd, but I don't have your payment, I will try to email you, but I can't guarantee that. It really depends on how busy I am and if I'm working and when I'm working and that kind of thing. So I'm going to throw that responsibility on you. If you want to take the class, please be sure that you're RSVPing properly to all of the classes that you're taking, and also that you've sent me the money. And if you've sent me the money for classes, please be sure that you've RSVP'd for them all. Okay, so that said, I did a whole different video on the girls' night out, so I'm not going to go through that again here. Friday classes. Friday classes are going to be the same. It's the Friday Beginner Card Club. You don't need to bring anything with you except whatever your beverage of choice is. Remember, you're driving, and there are stairs to navigate down and up. And that's it. We have very limited snacks, but we'll have a couple of snacks here and there. If you want something in particular, feel free to bring. We start at 7. We end at 9:30. Those are firm times. So if you're not done with your cards at 9:30, you should be able to, because even though we're sharing supplies, it's in a round robin. It is not a high pressure situation by any means, but if you're coloring a yellow flower with the yellow marker we have, then you're coloring the yellow flower and you're passing it on. This is normally how a stamp camp works. But if it's your turn to use the marker, then you have to use the marker. Use the marker, talk, have a conversation, whatever you want to do with the marker, but you can't hold the marker, not color, have a conversation, and hold up the rest of the class. So I know that that sounds a little stressful. It really isn't. You can color and talk at the same time, I promise. But I have had issues at classes, and I've seen issues, I should say, in classes and classes that I've taken where it's a little annoying because, it's I'm supposed to be out of here at 9:30 and I've worked a long day. And now it's 10 o'clock, it's 10:30, and I'm still here making cards. And then people don't want to come back to class because it's just too late of a night on a night that they've worked all day. And I totally get that. So if you want to come a little earlier, I'm downstairs by 6:30. You want to come down, you want to get yourself settled and set up, no problem. But we're starting at 7 and we are ending at 9:30. So everything has to be done, and the classes are pre-cut and everything for you in such a way that you are learning a technique, you are coloring some stuff, you may be stamping some things, and I will show you how. It's so easy, but it's more than enough time for you to finish. I have room for 6. And that's what I'm keeping it at for now. You have to be at least 14. So if you want to bring your child, girl, boy, whatever, because everybody crafts, crafting is not, specific to girls or female identified people. So you want to bring your, I'm just going to go with daughter. You want to bring your 14-year-old daughter? Go ahead. But you have to stay for the class and you have to pay for yourself as well. So if you were thinking about just coming and having her do it, you don't have to do it, but you have to pay for your seat because this is not babysitting. You have to stay for the entire time. You have to be a paid person in the class, as does your child. And the same is true if it's your niece or whomever that may be. So Fridays, you don't have to bring anything. For everything is done for you, everything is here. You use my supplies, you don't even have to bring glue. If you glued paper together in kindergarten, you can do this. If you colored in a coloring book ever, even if it was out of the lines, you can do this. Anybody can do this. And then you get to meet some new people, have a good time, make cards that you can give away. The cards are preset with the colors and such. The samples are always listed in advance for when I post the class. The only thing is, if I know in advance and you've told me in advance that, like, you don't celebrate Christmas and it happens to be a Christmas card, I can adjust that for you. We can make it a winter card for you and make sure that it's not any kind of Christmas theme. If you tell me in advance, that's a birthday card, but I don't do birthdays. That's okay. We can turn yours into a get well or a thank you or a hello card. Something along those lines. The sentiment is very easy to change. So if I know in advance that that's the case, that's it. But if it's simply a special request of, oh, I don't like this, can I have this? The card is what it is. So you can ask in advance, and if I can accommodate you with, I prefer that because you prefer it, not because it's a belief that you hold, then I will do my best to see. But again, the cards are, yes, baby, the way they are. So the Saturday classes then. Saturday is usually, yes, Anna, come here. I told you she'd be upset. So the Saturday classes are usually 3 classes. Sometimes it's an all-day workshop, which means we're using one stamp set to do all 9 cards. If we've got lots of samples from a particular stamp set or product that we're using. But September and October are 3 2-hour classes. Now, you may or may not finish all of the cards here. This does require some prior knowledge. So if you've taken a few of the Friday classes and you have some basic supplies, or great, then come try a Saturday class. But I would say until you've got like the Friday classes and some techniques down and you've taken at just a basic live, YouTube look at how to use a trimmer, and you own a trimmer and a scoreboard, because you need those things for Saturday. So the Saturday classes, though, for people who have taken them, I have decreased, yes, baby, the supplies that you're bringing. Now, if we're doing a lot of die cutting and you want to bring your big shot with you and carry it up and down the stairs, feel free. But I have two machines here. So you'll need your cutting plates, but you won't need the platform and you won't need the machine. And it's the standard one. It's not the electric one. It's two standard ones. So just, be mindful of that. But as we've discovered over the last few months, right, we are not getting any younger. And carrying all this up and down the stairs is getting a bit tiresome. And Mike isn't always here to do it for us. And even though I try to help out, there are going to be times that I can't either. So let's try to minimize what we're carrying. And that's going to be one of the changes for September for us. If I'm using ink and you have it, I'll let you know in advance when you register what colors we're using. But if you have it and you want to bring yours because you want to just get it done and you don't want to have to share, fine, no problem. But if you don't have, I don't know, Twisted Citron, right? And now you have to go out and buy it for the class. No, you don't. You just use mine. So we're building all of this into the class then, just like we would on a Friday. So you can bring your own if you have it, so you're not waiting. Otherwise, you don't have to go out and buy extra for the class. You'll use what I have here. So you'll have to buy less outside and you'll have to carry less with you. So I think that's really a win-win. So these are going to remain the 2 hours per. We will do all of the cutting and whatnot ahead of time at the start of class, so that by the end of class all you're really doing is stamping or cutting and assembling. So if you don't finish your cards in the 2 hours, that's okay. All of the things that you won't have access to at home, you've already used here, so that you can assemble at home, and that way you don't really have to worry so much about it. So these classes generally involve some kind of take-home product. We'll be using the stamps, for example, and you will stamp your own. So a MISTI is still highly recommended. You will stamp your own. You'll be coloring your own. You'll be die cutting your own. You bring the stamp home. Sometimes the die, sometimes it's a layered stencil. So those things still apply. So again, this is for somebody who's got a little more experience in card making. The Friday is for somebody who either doesn't want to carry all the stuff, doesn't want to be bothered doing all their own kinds of things, and just prefers a Friday night and just something easier and not all day. And even though you can pick your Saturday classes, you don't have to take them all. Most people do, because then you're here for the day and then you've done the stuff and then you go home with lots of cards. This requires, if you're going to bring a child, it's 16 or older, because now we have the trimmer involved. So, and you're responsible for that. You are bringing a trimmer, for them. They have their supplies. Sharing doesn't always work out because it is a much faster pace than Friday is. You can bring your own if you have, or you can wait to share my inks or whatever it is that you're sharing. But like Friday, if you are bringing somebody who is, again, at least 16, they need to bring their supplies with them. You also need to be paid for the class, and you need to stay with them throughout the class. Right? So that's it. So I think that covers most of it. So Friday, beginner or somebody who just wants different cards or extra cards, you don't have to bring anything with you. You can bring somebody with you who is at least 14, but again, you have to be paid and stay and sit with them. So you've got to do that. And if that's the case, please let us know, because a 14-year-old can't sign up for an account on Stampin' Up, right? They're a minor. So I would have to adjust the RSVP. So you would have to email me to let me know that, because you can only RSVP for yourself in the system. You can't do more than one. So just keep that in mind. Same for the 16-year-old. So Fridays are really for the person who wants to just come on in, do some basic stuff, learn a few little techniques, and get some cards done that they can share with their friends and family. Saturday, more involved. So I hope that that answers some of your questions. I hope that that tells you some of the new information. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or post in the Facebook group. I don't um, follow or generally look at comments on the YouTube videos. So if you leave a comment there, I'm likely not going to see it. You can text me if you know me in real life. You can try to message me through the group, but the easiest thing is probably to leave a comment. So I hope, yes, Anna, I hope that we'll see you at September classes. I'm very excited at starting them up. I think we've got some great cards coming up. I've started working on October, so kind of excited about that. That's a new thing. I've not started my Christmas cards. Shh, don't say anything. I hope to see you guys soon.